Hey, it's Coach Shaune here, and I help my clients increase their business and personal credit scores. Now I'm going to help you do the same. So in today's video, let's talk about the credit restoration process and what it actually is. But first, I want you to like and subscribe. Okay, now that we've got that out the way, let's begin. So the credit restoration process is about removing negative items from your credit profile, and in doing so, your credit score is going to fluctuate, all right? Sometimes it's going to go up, other times it's simply going to go down, and sometimes, in a few instances, it's not going to move at all. So I want you to be aware of this. This is normal, okay? And it's okay. Don't panic. Now, however, what I do want you to understand is that when you're looking to repair your credit, it's important that you know that before you get to that 680 or that 700 credit score that you're looking for, you're going to need to clean your credit profile first. Otherwise, getting to the score of your dreams is not going to be possible. A lot of people in the process of repairing their credit become anxious because the negative items fall off, but their scores are still fluctuating. Like I said earlier, they're going up, they're going down, their flat line is staying the same way, okay? This is perfectly normal and it's a part of the process, and you have absolutely nothing to worry about, okay? So now, after you've gotten all the negative items off your credit, okay, it's time for you to begin building that. And so you want to use different accounts like Boom Pay, Self-Lender, or getting a secured loan, okay? These are things that are going to help you build your credit by adding accounts. So these accounts are going to help your profile, and it's also going to start to improve and add a positive payment history and length of payment history as well. And these are important factors when it comes to calculating your credit score. However, the biggest takeaway is that your credit score, once again, does not matter. You can have a great credit score, but a poor profile. And the poor profile is the thing that's going to prevent you from getting certain approvals, especially if you're looking to buy a home, okay? However, if you do this and you focus first on cleaning, building, and restoring your credit profile, then naturally your credit score will follow. So let's talk about the two main ways that you can go about disputing negative items on your credit report. So the first one is simply using the consumer law. So consumer law is when you're using the laws that are in the Fair Credit Reporting Act, or what some may call the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. And you're using these laws to challenge the accuracy of negative items that are on your report. Now, the second way that you can do this, and the first way, a lot of times people refer to these as 609 letters. The second way is you can challenge the way that the information is being reported on your credit report. If it's not being reported in the right way, by law, then these accounts have to be removed. So it's not the inaccuracy of them, it's how they're being reported the second way. Now, the third thing is identity theft reports. If you're using identity theft reports, okay, to saying that someone stole your identity, that's illegal. You can go to jail, and that's not a way of cleaning up your credit report, okay? So now the big thing is, because a lot of people are actually under the misconception that a credit account that goes into collection no longer negatively affects their credit report. But I'm here to tell you that that's 100% false. So let's talk about collection accounts, okay? A collection account is a negative account. So whether it is paid or unpaid, as long as it's on your profile, it will always negatively affect your report, okay? Now, depending on how you're disputing that particular collection is going to determine a few things. For instance, if you're making payments on that collection account, then it can actually hurt your chances of getting it removed from your report. Well, Coach Shaune, why is that? It's simple. Number one, Anytime you make a payment on a collection account, you're resetting what we call the statute of limitations. In short, this is basically the legal way of saying it's the legal amount of time that a debt collector can pursue you for that debt, which is typically 7 years. So when you start paying it, you start that clock over. So if you're at 5 years, now you've added another 7 years to it. Now, number 2 is challenging the accuracy of that item. Because you're making payments on it, the credit reporting agencies then look at you and say, well, you're saying it's inaccurate, but you're making payments on it. So why would you be paying something that isn't yours? It's like one of these things is not like the other. It's a conflict. You understand what I'm saying? So if you do plan on making any payments towards a collections account, then you want to get something that we call a pay for deletion agreement. This is simply when you get an agreement in writing, that the collection agency simply states that they agree to pay either all or a portion of the debt. And then they're going to agree to remove it from your credit report or mark it paid as agreed. Now that's important. It's very important that you get this agreement from them in writing first, not just over the phone, not through an email, but an actual physical letter. Otherwise, if somewhere down the line they remove the account and then decide to put it back, you won't have any hard copy or proof that you had this particular agreement. I've had several clients that have had this happen to them, and where they get it off and then it goes back on, and then they've made these payments, but they have nothing in writing, and it's negative because it's not paid in full. Okay. And then the last thing, the biggest mistake that people make is adding trade lines to their account while they're repairing their credit. So let me be clear. When I'm talking about trade lines, I'm referring to an authorized user, on being an authorized user on someone else's account. So if you're not familiar with what that means, it's like you're piggybacking off of someone else's payment history, length of credit history, in order to make your credit profile look better. So I want you to understand that a trade line is not meant, well, let me say this, someone else's trade line is not meant to stay on your credit report forever. It's actually a type of strategy. And typically, when we put trade lines or we refer people to get trade lines, it's and put it on their report, it's simply when they're getting ready to apply for something like a house or a car or a large credit card. And once the application process is finished and they've been approved, then we remove that from their credit report. Okay. The trade line may also boost your score. Remember, but it's not about the score. It's about cleaning up your profile. So the trade line actually does both. It helps your score, but it really helps your profile, especially when you're looking at buying a house and things of that nature. It helps. So the last thing that you should be doing is trying to become an authorized user on someone else's credit card. It just doesn't make sense. It's not going to help you if you haven't done the work and cleaned up your credit report. But if you are adding trade lines, wait until the credit restoration process is finished. And then never apply for a trade line with a bank that you've had a previous negative history with. Even though that negative history will no longer show in your credit report, the bank will still be able to see that negative credit history within their particular data points. And that's important to know because then they may still deny you. All right, so if you're watching this and you're in need of credit restoration, then visit my website at creditmakes.com. The link is in the notes and the book. And if you want to book a free consultation, we can talk more about it, how to take your credit score to the moon, then you can do that at that website as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure that you share it and subscribe for more information just like this.